Well, hello and welcome to this video. You may have noticed I changed my banner to this because of the plan that we all know that I've spoken about many, many times. The plan to force out people, especially seniors and people with disabilities, out of Long Island. And if you want to stay in the New York metro area, then your option's going to probably be New Jersey. All right, so that's why we say know the plan. All right, especially for me. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the things going on here on Long Island that are not good in terms of housing. And, we've already gone through a major component of the plan, which is neglecting the quality of life in the towns that we live in, like here in Mineola, where we have homeless people hanging around and closed businesses and deserted streets. And it's depressing as heck, yet these are the only areas we're allowed to live in. We're not allowed to live in the nice areas. We're not allowed to experience Rockville Center because it's only for these preppy people only. All right? It's the same kind of thing. It's the same kind of thing that's going on. All right? So only a certain demographic, the white finance professionals, get taken care of, and everybody else gets treated like crap. We've gone over the map and showed you how, the middle of the island areas are suffering with a lot of problems. And this is how they do it. They take the middle of the island areas and they put all the problems here. They redline them. Take all the middle of the island areas and they bring all the problems here. All right? All the neighborhoods we live in have all the problems dumped in them. All right? Meanwhile, the areas that are taken care of, that have all the investment, that are getting the businesses, that are getting the attention on media, especially, those enclaves on the South Shore, well, they're getting more and more desirable and more expensive to live in, so only a certain demographic can live there. And so that's how we're priced out. That's a component of how we're being priced out that I've spoken about many, many times, is that we're not allowed to live in a decent neighborhood. We can't live in a nice neighborhood like this. We can't live in a nice neighborhood like this. We always have to live in a neighborhood with problems. And this is a major component of the plan. But there's another component of the plan. And we're going to talk about that component now. That's the absolute. Now, I've kind of spoken about it already, that, my agency merged with another agency and that, there have been cutbacks. I can't get things fixed anymore like I used to. Well, now some agencies are actually closing. And this is another major component of the plan. So this is very, very similar to what my agency does. All right, this is an agency in Suffolk County called Little Flower. Adult residential programs are closing on Long Island. And all 28 employees from its Wading River adult residential program will be laid off within the next 3 months. So 28 people will be out of a job. And not only that, people will be forced to move out of where they live and probably to a much worse area. Because Wading River is a safe area. It's very isolated, but it is safe. And we're going to read this article to you right now. So it says, a New York nonprofit serving individuals with developmental disabilities will be closing all of its adult residential programs on Long Island and in Queens, according to documents obtained by the Patch. Now, of course, South Shore 12 hasn't covered this because nobody cares about us. Citing economic reasons, Little Flower Children and Family Services is slated to close all 9 of its residential programs for adults with developmental disabilities in Wading River, Valley Stream, Forest Hills, Bayside, Laurelton, and Jamaica, per a warn notice. This is absolutely terrible. And this is the next. This would probably be the final nail for me when this happens to my agency. Is that, well, I'm not going to have an agency, and now I'm going to have to move because they'll force me to live somewhere even worse, and I'll have to go live in New Jersey. So it says here, Little Flower Family and Children's Services, which has served the community for 95 years, recognizes the need to refocus on our core mission to maintain the array of child and family services we provide in a changing world, said Corrine Hammonds, Little Flower's president and chief executive officer, wrote in a statement to Patch. Our recently released 3-year strategic plan includes growing and innovating services for children and families on Long Island and New York City, emphasizing and expanding mental health services and supportive environments. Little Flower's staff of over 500 provides foster boarding, residential treatment, and adoption services, as well as medical and mental health programs for individuals with developmental disabilities, according to the nonprofit's website. But all 28 employees from its Wading River Adult Residential Program will be laid off for the next 3 months. 7 employees in Valley Stream, 9 employees in Forest Hills, 11 employees in Bayside, 14 employees in Laurelton, and 29 employees across 4 Jamaica locations will be affected by the closures as well, part of the warn notice. And, the state's undergoing a mental health crisis. But see, you hear the governor and everybody talking, we're going to improve funding, but they're not. They keep cutting funding, and the cost of living on Long Island is bleeding. The cost of doing business here is bleeding these agencies dry, and there isn't anyone doing anything about it. So it says, all residential program sites, save for the Wading River site, will be transferred to another provider through the state's offices for people with developmental disabilities. So which will ensure that most residents can stay in their current homes, but not in Wading River. So sorry, Wading River is now an enclave. You're going to have to leave. 4 Wading River residents will move to other residential programs in the state. God knows where they're going to be moved. All right. You notice that most of their locations are, except for Wading River, are in mixed areas, except for Wading River. Isn't that interesting, huh? Isn't that interesting? Because Wading River demographics are mostly white. We all know what's going on here. We all know what's going on. It's so obvious what's going on. People I have some viewers that just don't really, they don't want to see what's going on with the plan. They just want to bury their heads in the sand and say it ain't happening. But it is happening. They are forcing us out. They are forcing us out of Long Island. So let's go to the next thing here. And unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get a full article for this. But this is not only seniors and disabled, but also veterans. Also, you're not welcome here on Long Island either. Now, unfortunately, I can't read this article here because it's going to be probably behind a paywall. But it says Southampton Town Board meeting, because of course the news here has paywalls. In New Jersey, you can read the news for free, but not on Long Island. Southampton Town Board denies zone changes for Liberty Gardens. So this was going to be an affordable housing complex. You can see they're not going to let us read the whole article, but this is going to be an affordable housing complex. Please subscribe because they want to be greedy. It's funny. I can go to Jersey Shore online and get all the news from New Jersey, and they don't charge. Why can't we do that on Long Island? Oh, well, I guess we have to charge here because, again, we're pricing you out of Long Island, John. So, and the Newsday has another article. Only Newsday covered this. So it says Southampton plan ends plan for affordable housing units with veterans. All right. So this was going to be the Liberty Gardens housing complex. All right. You can see there are a bunch of things. This has been talked about for a while. All right, you can see Southampton housing debated. And 50% was going to be affordable housing for veterans. I read this article in the library, all right? Unfortunately, you notice there isn't one story from News 12 South Shore on it. Or should I say South Shore 12. Let's see, maybe we can look at this one, East and Beacon, just to show you what this project was going to be like. So it was going to be used with community housing fund. It was going to be a 60-unit development behind the Southampton Full Gospel Church on County Road, where apartments would have been earmarked for veterans and people with mental health needs. So it would have been not the best location. Obviously, County Road 39 in Tuckahoe. We'll go to that map right now. Oh, that's right. I think I closed maps up, so I'll have to put maps back. But again, that's an enclave. They don't want that kind of housing there. They'll put it in Flanders or Riverside, but they're not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it in Tuckahoe, which is over here, County Road 39, right here in Tuckahoe. And what was the road it was the crossroad that they had there? Let me find the article here. It was Southampton Full Gospel Church. So let's see if we can find Southampton Full Gospel Church. Not sure where that is. Let's see. All right. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Well, there is the route. There is the bus. Actually, it's not a terrible location because you're not that far from the train station, and you have the S92 right by you, so it's not a terrible location. There are some stores around here, but no, the Snobs said, nope, we don't want that here. Nope, because look at the people here in these fancy homes. They don't want to have affordable housing in their community. No, no, no. So they stopped it. They don't want to have affordable housing in their communities. You see what goes on. And then even when we get affordable housing built here on Long Island, even when it happens, the amount of the, let's say a 13-acre site here we go, a fifth of the units in this East Farmingdale complex could be for affordable housing. Could be for affordable housing. So it says the governor obviously trying to, so this is an area of Conklin Avenue at Route 110. And it said that 20% of the housing development will be turned into affordable housing, or households earning 80% of area median income. No mention of people with disabilities, people with mental health issues about this. No mention at all. No mention at all about that. All right. So again, it's going to have hardly anything. We keep building these apartments all over Long Island. You see it all over the place, but none of them are affordable. None of them are affordable. Now let's go and look at New Jersey, because New Jersey is, of course, completely different. And this is where I'm going to wind up having to go live, probably sooner than later at this point. So they built this apartment complex here, and 30% of the apartments in this are for affordable housing. So it says there are 11 1- and 2-bedroom apartments for people who have low to moderate income. All right, and this apartment complex they built here in Toms River, and they have many apartment complexes that have affordable housing in them. And there's another article about this as well, so I'll go to this. And of course, I can read all the articles, and they don't ask for me to pay to read them because, again, this is New Jersey. It's different in New Jersey. All right, so guess what? When this opened in 2018, guess how much the apartments cost? 1 bedroom, only $1,300 a month. When I moved here to this Mineola apartment in late 2017, we were struggling to find an apartment for $1,600 a month on Long Island that was 1 bedroom. And this was all we could get. Now, if I went there, I would have had, let's see what I would have had. I would have had a nice new apartment building. Views near the downtown, modern air and central air conditioning, dishwasher and dryer. I would have had a nice apartment. You see why I'm thinking of leaving Long Island? Because I'm tired of living in this crap hole. When I could live in a nice apartment, and I'm going to have to leave Long Island. But you know what? Is it really worth it? To keep fighting the plan like this? If I'm going to be stuck in this hellhole, if staying on Long Island means being stuck in this, stuck dealing with this every day, and a brick wall view out my window, and living in a community with homeless people and no life that's falling apart, is it really worth it anymore? I have to ask myself that. I really, really do. I really, really do. Yeah, it's my home. I don't want to leave Long Island, but the fact is, if I can't get out of this place, if I can't get out of this area here in Mineola, and this is my future on Long Island, or this or worse, then honestly, what's the point of me staying here anymore? This is all how the plan works. I don't want to be pissing my life away on Long Island if it means having to be stuck living here anymore. I know the plan. I don't have to like the plan. I can keep fighting the plan. But there are very, very powerful people behind the plan. They control all the elected officials, all the levels of government, the business, everything. We all know a certain kind of person is going to get the good life, and the rest of us, especially those of us with disabilities, are going to be told to take what we got, take it or leave it. And a lot of us are just leaving it. And honestly, I know the plan, and it's coming. If I can't get out of this place, then I'm out of here. I'm out of Long Island. I'm done. I'd rather live in Toms River and have a nice apartment than be stuck here. If it means having to go live in New Jersey, then that's what it means. It's not right. It's not fair. I'm going to keep fighting, but time's really running out.